Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Wow, my hair is a mess. Today is Friday, April 30th, 2021, our last official day of April. Insane to think. So, I have some few things to share, not a lot, but I'm excited to share them with you. So I kind of just want to jump into it, go straight into it, and let's see what we got. So the quote for today, I'm just going to read it to you and then I'll show you as always and as usual. So the quote is, hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat again. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. It's so catchy. Oops. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. Hustle, eat, sleep, repeat. So I wanted to get that point across. You gotta hustle. You gotta hustle in life. Hustle. Hustling is like one of the main things that gets me through life, is the fact that I hustle from one thing to the next. And it's just an insane, crazy world where I'm going constantly from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next thing. But it's all rewarding in the end because there's so many things. So, keep that hustle going. Eat. Make sure you give yourself proper nutrition and values. Make sure you get quality sleep, because sleep is really important, especially in this whole e-learning, remote, hybrid work, all these different schedules. Make sure that you eat and sleep. Give your body the fuel that it needs to get through the day and the sleep it needs to properly function. And then repeat the process. It's always important. Okay, so the few things I wanted to talk about. A is the new schedule for next year, which heads up to thank you to Jocelyn Perez for the new schedule. She sent it to me. I'll talk a little bit about it. I don't know the exact details or all of the details. I know some details, but more details will come as for next year as we get closer to August. But we have time and we're still trying to finish this year of junior year. Hey, 3 weeks and then junior year is over. And then I could party next year and have a great time because all of my classes are electives, minus PE and English. But everything else is elective, so I have, between both semesters, 8 electives. 8 electives. So I'm excited. I really look forward to that. But yeah, we'll talk about the schedule. I found another TikTok duo thing for Halloween costume ideas, and I know it's only April. It's the last day of April, but I thought about that, and so I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then we'll also talk about something that did happen in Atlanta today, which I'm allowed to say, but I witnessed a hit and run today. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Not too generic, but just what I witnessed and what I saw and stuff like that, because I don't know anything further than that, really. And I don't want to overstep. And then we'll also just talk about, what are my plans for the rest of today? What are my plans for tomorrow? So that you have an idea for when you come back tomorrow and see where we left from where we left off. And then we'll talk about the one show that my mom got me addicted to on Netflix. So hopefully I remember all the things I just said in that order. But let's start the new schedule. So next year, this is according to Miss Blevins, who is an English teacher at East Latin. It was shared with the staff last week and shared with my friend Jocelyn's class today. And so the schedule for next year, lunches will be either period 4, 6, or 8. They're going to be 45 minutes long, so they're going to cut those split periods where it was 4, go to lunch 6, 5, go to lunch 7. They're going to stop doing those. So the periods for next year, on a regular day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to go back to the 7:35 start. Well, 7:30 in the building, 7:35 is when your first period starts. And then, so that'll be, so classes, instead of being the 43 minutes? Yeah, 7:35 to 8:23. It'll be 7:35 to 8:20 for period 1. Period 2 will be 8:25 to 9:10. So you still got the 10-minute passing period, and it's on even numbers. So it's not on those odd consistent numbers, it was 23 to 28 or whatever. Every single one is the same amount of time. So period 2 is 8:25 to 9:10. Period 3 would be equal time, 9:15 to 9:15. Now that's the new thing. So that's what the advisory stuff comes into play, where seniors and next year's seniors who are juniors now, and next year's juniors who are sophomores now are going to be advisory leaders and mentor roles, to kind of just like get stuff rolling, get the ball rolling. And then period 3 will be 9:55 to 10:40. Now if you have period 4 lunch, your lunch is 10:45 to 11:30. Otherwise you have period 4-5. If you are period 6 lunch, you have 11:35 to 12:10. Otherwise you're in period 5-6 for period 4 lunch. And then period 8 lunch, you're pretty much in class until 12:15 to 1 o'clock. That doesn't add up, does it? 12:15 to 1 o'clock. 12:10 to 1 is 40 minutes. Aww. Oh, I'm sorry. 40-minute lunches. My bad. Not 45. 40-minute lunches. Okay, so that adds up. Okay, so yeah, that adds up. I'm sorry. So yeah, you have 40-minute lunches. So then if you have 8th period lunch, you have 12:15 to 1 o'clock. Period 9, everybody's back and out of lunch. Like all together, that's 1:05 to 1:50. And then period 10 will be 1:55 to 2:40. Now usually we get out at 2:30. Past period would be over at 2:35. You'd be going to the library, going home, catching a bus, doing whatever, and clubs will start at 3:15. So clubs will not be affected by this. Clubs will still start at like their 3:10, whatever times, 3:05, 3:10, 3:15. They'll still start at those times. But the only difference is because of Eagle time and that the passing period you have to squeeze in there plus the additional Eagle time, you push back the schedule, so you still start at the same time. You just get out 10 minutes later. Not that big of a deal. You're home closer to 3 anyway, usually. You're home at like 2:45 usually if you drive or take a bus or whatever from school. If you have no clubs that day, the only difference is you'd literally be home at 3 o'clock that day, probably. And then, you know, sports and all that stuff is not affected. And then the new thing that's implemented, well, I guess it's implemented all the time, but they'll actually have student-teacher time, like a designated time for it. You don't have to come in before or after or whenever. They actually have a designated time. So that's 2:40 to 3:10. That's in person. The goal is to have everybody in person next year, but if there is a remote component, they will have the remote hours for that time for those teachers, and then a break. And then if kids need to see their teachers who are remote, give the teachers time to travel home, they'll have the teachers set up their own designated office hours for those kids. Is what my teachers were saying after I asked about the schedule, or they will have you be like, okay, like give them enough time, like a 45-minute hour window, and then have them start office hours at 4 to 5, or 4 to 4:30, or so. Everybody will figure it out. But yeah, so that's a new schedule. And then in service will stay the same. So in service we will still on Wednesdays we'll still start at 8:50. Only difference is instead of having those like half-hour class periods of 33 minutes, we're getting an additional 10 minutes. So your regular period, one that used to be 8:50 to like 9:02. What was it? 8:50, 9:10, 9:20. It's 30. I'm sorry. Instead of going to 8:50 to 9:23, you then start. Now your class is 8:50 to 9:30, so it's an additional, I can't do the math. It's an additional 7 minutes, which is not that big of a deal. So yeah, but that's the schedule for next year, and if, like I said, I'm not like 100%, but we'll just clarify it as we go. Cool, let's talk about the next thing. So, I'm special, and when I'm on TikTok, I find things, and so on TikTok, I found this cute little thing I like to call, and so it's a SpongeBob and Patrick duo, like for your besties for Halloween. Oops. But you can see that. You see that or no? No, I don't think so. Just take my word for it, but, you know. Oh, maybe you can. If I do this. No. Basically, it's a Patrick Star and SpongeBob outfit, and, like, you twin with it, and so I was telling one of my friends, I said, we should do this, and they said, no, and I said, well, then what do you want to do? Like, let's do the other video you sent. So I sent them a video about, early in the week, of us doing some other crap, and so I think that's going to be our Halloween costumes. And like I said, I know it's April, but I'm special, and I love to plan. Yeah. So, those are the things that were in my camera roll. Now we're going to transition over to talking about, see, I can't remember. Oh my god. Okay, oh, okay, the hidden red. Okay, so I'm gonna transition to that real quick. So, I pulled into the lot this morning. I brought 2 friends in today to school because they were on campus today with me as well. So I brought them in. I pulled into a spot, and as I'm grabbing my keys, turning off my ignition, because that's the smart thing to do, not to leave your car running for 4.5 hours while you're at school because someone hijacks it and leaves, and not smart, and you're wasting gas as well, so not good. So I don't do that because that's not smart. So I was taking my keys out of my ignition, and I was unlocking my back door, and I put my backpack on because I put it in the back seat when somebody's in the passenger seat because I have no other option. My bag's not big enough to fit on the side of the driver's door without it being a hazard for me when I drive if I get injured, and also for me to still reach the gas pedal and to still reach the brake pedal. Not the key component of the story. So yeah, I was getting out and I was putting my backpack on, and then I was like, oh, I forgot to get my lanyard that we have to wear in person. So I went back into my driver's door and grabbed my lanyard, and then I closed my door and I locked my car. And I was sending a text to one of my friends to let them know, hey, I parked just fine. Not my friend, my parents, to let them know that I got to school okay, because that's what I do. So then I start to walk, and then I start walking like in front of me because I can only walk forward. I can't walk backwards into the field because that's not what the school is. And I watch as this kid in this truck, this red truck, he stops. He's like on an angle, and there's an open spot next to me. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna park there. And he turns his car a little bit to reverse, and then I watch him change the gear. It's like, so you're trying to? I was like, oh, he's trying to adjust it, and well, didn't go very well. He instead of he was facing like this, like hand over the back of the seat, looking here, but his car went forward. So it was his gear was still in drive, and he went full force. And so there's a car sitting right here, and he's on an angle, and he went like this, and literally the entire car that he hit was like hit and impacted and shifted over in the parking slot. And his face and everybody around us who was coming to school, because they don't let you go directly to your class until 8:20 now, was looking, and we all looked at each other like, what the fuck, and or what the crap, and he looked panicked, and now all of a sudden he knows that he used gear shifts, and I know it was an accident, but we all thought, okay, we watched him back up, and because there's no more spots in that area, so we watched him back up and pull into another spot, and so we thought, okay, he's going to stop, he's going to be logical, he's going to check out the damage, leave a note, tell security to let them know. No, he parks in a spot, and we're all like, okay, he's getting out. He didn't get out, he sat in his vehicle, and then waited and thought nobody was staring, reversed, and sped out of the lot. So he basically committed a hit and run, which is a crime. And this poor kid, I know it wasn't intentional. It's not like he's intentional. He woke up one day and he goes, it's so intentional. I just want to hit somebody's car. No, it was not intentional at all. And he hit this poor person's car. And so the thing is, we don't know if that was like a student car or if that was a staff car. But it could have been a lot worse, right? There could have been somebody else in that car trying to reverse or trying to do something else that could cause more damage. Nobody was in the vehicle, so I think he assumed that it was okay to flee. Now, that's a criminal offense. So I hope that that kid comes to his senses. It would have made so much more sense if he just parked the car, left a note, told the security and said, look, I did this is my fault. Can we find out whose license plate this is? So I can tell them, because that would have made sense. But, nope, didn't happen. So, like, I know it's scary. Like, if that happened to me, like, if I was the one who got hit or was the one who hit somebody, I do have insurance, so I am covered by it, insurance and stuff. And yes, I would take full responsibility because it is my fault, right? And, I would park my car and say, look, I'm so sorry. If they're there, give them my insurance. We exchange stuff. We go about our ways, right? But, I don't know that kid's story, so I cannot judge because I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling or what was going through his head. But speeding out of the lot was probably not the best option, considering there's security cameras in the lot. You've got people taking license plate numbers from the vehicle hit and your vehicle, and then video surveillance from these students taking footage. So, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I was very worried. I was like, oh my god. And because he was so close to me, he was trying to get into the spot next to me, I thought when I saw his car go, I was like, he's going to try and reverse to get out of here and park his car. He's going to try and park in the spot next to me. I was so freaking out that my car was going to get hit. It was this whole big thing. Grateful that my car didn't get hit. But it was scary for him, for everyone in that lot, because we didn't know. Yeah, so those are the 3 major things. And then the last thing I wanted to just talk about in general was that, so see, maybe I do remember. So you're prepared for when you come back tomorrow. Tomorrow when we sit back down again and have a lovely chat, and by that I mean me talking to an iPad and hoping that people actually watch and don't just skim past my story on Snap. When you come back tomorrow, you'll hear a little bit about how today went in general, like after the fact that this is filmed. The one thing, oh no, there's the one thing, the circle. Okay, so my mom got me addicted to the Netflix show The Circle. It's that social media competition where it's like 8 players and they're all in their own little apartments. And they can't see each other or talk to each other other than through social media, which is this big thing called The Circle. And they communicate that way. I'm really addicted to it now, and it's my mom's fault. Really enjoy it. But anyways, so yeah, if you want to check that out, check it out. Yeah, so I'm gonna end this vlog here. I hope that your Friday went well. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I'm gonna get ready to finish my episode of The Circle. Here, let me show you. I'm watching right now, and so we're in the middle of the episode, so I'm trying to finish that before I shower and just get ready for bed. And also, I'm sitting on the floor today because I wanted a different aesthetic. You know, I'm usually like at my desk, over there somewhere in this room, or at the kitchen table, or at the, you know, I try and spice it up, or my car, or whatever. And so you'll see in a TikTok on Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure, of the upcoming week. You'll see a TikTok of me in like different rooms doing stuff, and it'll kind of make sense. But I kind of wanted to elaborate it into this, so I talk too much. So yeah, so be prepared for when you come back tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about The Circle and how I liked the episodes that I've watched tonight. And just talk about some other things. So have a great rest of your night, day, whatever it is, because I have people who watch from across the world. Alright, have a good one, guys. Bye, peace, toodles, and have a magical day, as Miss C would say. Oh gosh, I love you, Miss C. Congrats to Miss C, and I love all of you. Bye-bye.